You are listening to the Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. Make sure to check out the GCP where the vibes are free at 779 Bank Street and let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. What a response. The Ottawa Senators shut out the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-0 on the road and give the fans a victory Sunday morning, but it's a quick turnaround as the Sens will be in action against Dallas. We'll touch on that at the end of the show. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller and Pillsy. It was never in doubt.
Oh my God. Hockey is fun yet again for Sens fans, Ross. A 5-0 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins, coming off a 4-0 loss to the Buffalo Sabres. If you would have told me after that Sabres game, Ross, that the next game the Sens played, doesn't matter where, who they're up against, but that they would get a 5-0 win, I would not have believed you. But I love this right now, and it's a vibecast for once. I forgot how good Danger Flutes is, and it's a beautiful thing. Music to my ears.
I'd forgotten what scoring first was like after 5 straight games without scoring first. The Ottawa Senators not only get the first goal, but they get it early in the game. Tyler Kleven, first game after his 23rd birthday, opens the scoring on the first shot of the game, 3 minutes and 16 seconds in. Claude Giroux, Adam Gaudette with the assists on that one. And Pittsburgh challenged, failed, power play, goal, 2-0 Shane Pinto, that bumper play that him and Giroux love running. Shabbat with the secondary assist there. Pillsy, what do you have to say about those first 5 minutes and 14 seconds?
Well, honestly, Ross, that challenge for goaltender interference might be the TSN turning point of the game because, and they were talking about it on the broadcast, like Mike Sullivan's body language was so weird for that. It seemed like one of those, like, I don't like how that play went, so I'm going to challenge it in hopes that it's reversed. But I mean, I will give them some benefit of the doubt here. Nobody knows what goalie interference is these days. So you flip a coin and you decide heads or tails, and who knows where it's going to land. But watching the replays of that seemed like a weird one to try to roll the dice on, especially when you're down 1-0 early. And then, like you mentioned, it gives the Sens the power play and they capitalize on it. And now it's a 2-0 game. Like, I think that is where things really just got out of hand for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And without Evgeny Malkin, this team is pretty thin offensively up front, and the back end did not look great either. And then don't even get me started on the goaltending. I mean, Tristan Jarry, nice job not allowing any goals, but Nedeljkovic pretty much ruined that game for them real quick.
And he deserved everything that came his way. We'll explain why in just a little bit. But the Sens weren't done scoring there, Pillsy. You pointed out, after being shut out last game, the first period saw an even strength goal, a power play goal, and then with just under a minute left, shorthanded, Shane Pinto's second of the game, assisted by Ridley Gregg, and he looked off on a 2-on-1 as well. Pinto rips it far side. Like, this first period, we didn't even talk about all the physicality and the rough stuff, the back and forth. Nick Cousins, Michael Bunting with his Oscar nomination performance today, couple dives from him. it's almost like I almost posted the Superman meme when Nick Cousins and Michael Bunting were going at it with each other. Like, I don't know why you hate each other the same. You are the same player.
Well, and especially, Ross, the irony of Bunting in the penalty box after that first little scuffle they had doing the dive motion to Nick Cousins. And then, yeah, you watch the replay on that Nick Cousins hit early or later on. That was a clean hit. He just does the full neck snap. I'm surprised he doesn't have a neck injury from snapping it back like that. But I want to go back, Ross. We kind of glossed over this. You said the Ottawa Senators haven't scored first in a while, and that's true. Well, how about 2 goals on 2 shots to get this game going? And the broadcast, they talked about it, that the Pittsburgh Penguins give up the most goals on a first shot of the game of any team this year. What's that like?
Couldn't be us.
Couldn't be us. Yeah, Sens fans don't know what that's like. Shades of last season. Thank God that's not the case anymore. And then sure enough, they do it again. And then that's one of those hold my beer moments. Now we've done it 9 times. How about we let the next goal in as well? 2 shots, 2 goals. That's a great start for your Ottawa Senators.
It's just amazing how this game unfolded if you're an Ottawa Senators fan, because the power plays, you saw it as we pulled it up early, 0 for 6 the Penguins go, and that was 6 power plays in the first half of the game for them. So really good job of the Sens penalty killing unit tonight. I thought everybody had it tonight. They came out with intensity to start. And Pillsy, how are we 8 minutes into this show without giving stick taps to 22-year-old Meriläinen? A 30-save shutout for Leevi Meriläinen. I tweeted at Sens Central in the second period. Don't let the score take away from the fact that this dude is for real.
Yeah, the Finnish firewall gets his first career NHL shutout, the second youngest Ottawa Senators goalie to get a shutout in franchise history. And he was just solid. Like, the thing I love about Leevi, Ross, is he is just so calm, cool, and collected. Like, nothing shakes this guy. He doesn't, even when he makes a big save, he's not flashy about it. He doesn't scramble in his net at all. Everything is just smooth. Slow it down, saves, no rebound, cover it, get the whistle. Like, he is playing such a responsible, smart game that it gives a lot of confidence when he's starting in goal. And I'm glad you emphasized it, Ross, because it's easy to look at a 5-0 game, especially when the Sens get out to a 5-0 lead real quick in this one. But he still had to be sharp, and he wanted to keep that shutout. I'm sure the boys wanted to get it for him too, and he does a great job. So Leevi Meriläinen, you love to see that from a young goalie prospect.
You love to see it. The 2020 draft class was on display in a big way in this game. Cole Reinhardt left with injury in the second period, but he was all over the ice in the first, creating one of those melees and not being perturbed by Chris Letang, a 1,100, maybe more game player in the league. He's like, no, that was a garbage reach in on me, and you flew into your own net. Suck on that one, would you, for a second?
Yeah, sorry, I got farm boy strength and knocked you into the net when you tried to hit me off. Like, that was so crazy. Obviously, I can see why Letang's mad about that. It's kind of a tough look getting dumped into your own net at home when you're already down a lot. But
hey, fish a puck out of there while you're in it, eh?
Yeah, seriously. Maybe you can play goalie instead of Nedeljkovic. He can try out defense. But yeah,
with a 688 percentage, Letang might not have been a bad choice to play goal for Pittsburgh today.
Honestly, yeah. And then Nedeljkovic trying to be a tough guy, tripping Reinhardt like that. That's just such a
You know what it is? You know what it is?
Play.
It's not part of hockey.
It's not part of hockey.
It really isn't, because that's just like the fish hook. You just Ross, as a goalie, I'm sure you've done this once or twice. I know I did when I was playing goalie, and you're pissed off. It's so easy to take a guy's legs out with that long paddle you have. But like, if you're gonna be a tough guy like that, like, then you better back it up. And he doesn't really do it. And then he tries to go for the trip again near the benches. Like, just
that's a slew foot. The guy's facing
exactly
the other way, and it's at the top of the circles. Of all guys you're not expecting to be in the scrum, it's Nedeljkovic. Now, the reason Ottawa was shorthanded there was the Cole Reinhardt going and slashing his stick out of his hand afterwards. But he deserved it, and he deserved everything that he got. And how about Tristan Jarry coming in and whining to the refs after the first play? Then there was a play where Greg ended up in the net, and he elbows him in the face on the way out. Like, Tristan Jarry's quickly getting onto the list of guys who I will not let live it down.
It's almost impossible to stop.
My hatred for Tristan Jarry. Senators win 5-2. 2-0 in this one. They improved to a ridiculous 46-11-6 when Shane Pinto has a point, and they're now 10-2-2 when Shane Pinto has 2 points like he had tonight. Man, he got close to a third there with a break, eh?
And imagine you get a hat trick with 2 of them being shorthanded. Like, that would have been quite the night for Shane Pinto. I thought he had a great night, Ross, and this guy needs to get it going. I mean, 2 goals tonight is great, but 8 goals in the first half of the season. We're officially at that first half benchmark, 41 games played for the Ottawa Senators, sitting at a 20-18-3 record. So I'd really like for him to have a big second half here. And I mean, this is a good start.
It's a great start. And we'll talk about who should start tomorrow later on in the show. I know what the fans want, but I doubt they do it. But man, Leevi Meriläinen deserves all the praise. They took away a shot, though. Only 29 saves now. The shutout going for the Ottawa Senators, who, by the way, lead the league with 6 shutout wins this season.
That's so crazy to think about. Like, I would, like, when you start adding them up, you're like, actually, that is pretty good. Like, if they were projected to get 12 shutouts in a season, Ross, that would be awesome.
And by 3 goalies.
True. Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
Like, Winnipeg has 5 shutouts, but Hellebuck has all 5.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Yeah, so hey, you'd like it to be a little more balanced, Ross, getting shut out less and shutting other teams out. Well, I mean, I was going to say more, but 6 times leading the league, that's pretty solid. But to go from it's just so crazy. Like, Ross, our show used to be called Making Sense of the Sens. We're 1,200 episodes in. I still can't figure this team out. Losing 4-0 at home to the Sabres, then going to Pittsburgh shortly after and pounding them 5-0. I never would have expected this, but I love it.
Sens win 5-0. They get outshot 29-22 in this game. Ottawa's power play goes 2 for 4. Pittsburgh goes 0 for 6 with their power play, and Ottawa had a shorthanded goal to boot. Pittsburgh wins 51% of the faceoffs in this one. Ottawa outblocks Pittsburgh 15-11. Pittsburgh hits Ottawa, 30-27. And Pilsy, how about the expected goals at 5-on-5? 73% in favor of Pitt.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit score effects, Ross. Like, once you get up 5-0, you kind of park the bus and just play a conservative game. Like, at the end of the third, the Sens are just playing keep away, not really getting anything on net, because if that thing misses and wraps around and Pittsburgh gets an odd man rush the other way, you don't want to ruin Levy's shutout. So definitely score effects there, but stats are for losers, Ross. I don't give a damn about 5-on-5 expected goal percentage being at 26.7% when it's a 5-0 win.
And nothing better, if you're watching on YouTube, than that picture of Zach Ostapchuk holding on to Chris Letang in one hand and the limp body of Michael Bunting, who is in his natural position of being horizontal in mid-air.
Yeah, seriously. Like, how? There's no way a Ostapchuk with one hand could pick him up and throw him down like that. Like, that is... give him the Oscar. He's doing great there. Great acting.
Michael Ragdoll Bunting. That was so funny in the first period. He flew down after Cousins got him, and then Tyler Clevin said, "You got to go too." So see ya later. Senators with a huge win. We'll talk more about what went on to get that victory, who should start in goal tomorrow, and we have a boots on the ground report from Cheryl, who is at the game in Pittsburgh. So we absolutely love to see that, and we will get to it shortly. But first, let me tell you about the Postcast, because it's always brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. It's our pub in the heart of the Glebe. Visit them at 779 Bank Street and let them know that Locked On Senator sent you. Hey, it's only 6 o'clock. We got live music tonight at the Glebe Central Pub, so get your dancing shoes on and head out to the GCP. It's right in the heart of the Glebe, walking distance from Lansdowne. Just head there and have yourself a great time. They've also got the Send Shuttle for upcoming games. You can find the whole schedule at GlebeCentralPub.com. Make sure to check off that you heard about them on the Locked On Senators podcast. The next shuttle is going for Thursday's game against the Washington Capitals, and then next Saturday, against the Boston Bruins. Huge games coming up at the CTC. So be there and take the Send Shuttle. $17 round trip. The bus leaves the GCP just 15 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes, before the game, and then leaves the rink 15 minutes afterwards from the exact same spot.
You could get you there in 15 minutes, though, Ross. It wouldn't be that crazy to leave 15 minutes before the game.
Sue has never met a gas pedal that she doesn't love, but it's always safe, always at the GCP. So head to where the vibes are free. That's 779 Bank Street, and let them know that Locked On Senators sent you.
Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are happening right now. Big upsets, game-winning drives. The NFL playoffs are better with FanDuel. And right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Guaranteed. That's $200 in bonus bets, whether you win or lose. The FanDuel app gives you everything you need for live bets, same game parlays, and so much more. You guys know I've been on this. This is the final day for me to remind you. Go to FanDuel and do the no-brainer bet. It's Bills to complete 1+ pass in tomorrow's game. The odds were minus 10,000, and FanDuel has bumped them up to minus 110. So a $25 bet that will return, I don't know, it's like $22.30 or something like
Math
that.
Guy.
So to boost your account, don't miss out on the no-brainer bet. It's the last time you can do it. And if you're new to FanDuel, get started with $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, wrapping up a 5-0 shutout win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. And there to see it all was Virginia's biggest Sens fan. We bring on Cheryl. How are you doing, Cheryl? Hey, a little bit better circumstances. Last game we had you on was in Carolina. They were shut out in that game. A little bit more fun tonight, I'd imagine.
A lot more fun. Yes. So let's see, it was November. We drove 4 hours south to Raleigh to see the November Sens be the November Sens. And then this time we drove 4 hours to the Northwest to come see, I don't know, a resurgence of the December Sens, hopefully. So yes, it was a lot of fun. I mean, yes. Wow. It was great. It was fun.
And I remember you saying that the atmosphere in Carolina was a little bit hostile. This game got off to a great start. What was the fan experience like for you at tonight's game?
I have to say, I mean, so Pittsburgh fans they're pretty nice, right? So they're definitely not as aggressive as the fans in Raleigh. So even though the Sens were up, the fans were really into it in the first period. I mean, obviously with all the fights and the scrums and everything, it was a really fun period. It was very exciting. They were pretty hard on their own team, which, of course, I think we can relate because what I think what they were experiencing was what we experienced at times and have experienced with the Sens, including Thursday night. So it was understandable. But yeah, no, I thought the fan atmosphere was really good. It was pretty empty by the third period, by the end of the third. So, but yeah, I would say it was all good natured. We saw a few dozen Ottawa fans, including people who traveled from Ottawa. So it was, it was a great atmosphere.
Yeah. Now, at what point, Cheryl, did you get the feeling that this was going to be a good game for you to be there? Like you mentioned, the Carolina game, not so great, but was it the first goal you're feeling good, or maybe right after when they get that power play? Like, when did you really have confidence that this was going to be maybe not a 5-0 blowout, but at least a Sens victory was in your grasp?
For me personally, the second goal. So after I've become, I know that on Twitter, we've got some fans who are kind of negative and, and then we go back and forth, right? Like the Sens, they're back and like, no, they're terrible or whatever. They're not going to make the playoffs. So after what happened Thursday, I find myself being like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to let go of all my expectations, whether they get a wild card spot or not. So, but by the second goal, I was like, all right, yeah, they have energy. They seemed really locked in. They were really pumped up with that, especially by the time of the second goal. So I think, I could see that they had the kind of energy and fight in them that they certainly didn't have in Carolina. We were like 5 rows behind the bench this time. So we got to still see, them just like really pumped up. And so it was great.
And what's the vibe being that close to the bench? How did you find Travis Green was communicating with the players and those little insights that we don't get to see on TV?
Yeah, I thought Travis was definitely communicating with them. I thought a big difference from last time when we were in Carolina was Brady. So Brady, he was like really pumped up. He kept on banging his stick against the boards, just kind of like pumping up. But last time in Carolina, it seemed like Brady was really, he's doing a lot of talking, a lot of complaining, and as we might recall, the refs were just making terrible calls in that game. And so Brady seemed like he was channeling his energy a bit more, like he was really like kind of locked in and focused. And so it felt like they were all clicking, which was fantastic. I mean, we know that this team has that in them. We've seen it before. It's just like completely inconsistent. And so this was just one of those games where it was all clicking and they seemed, they weren't, what I liked about it is that it's not like they ever really kind of gave up and coasted, even in the third period, they seemed like really intent on getting that shutout and really focused. And so they never really kind of like let loose on it, which was great. They seem really locked in.
Yeah, I'm glad you got a good performance. Hopefully worthy of a 4+ hour drive. Now, Cheryl, as you know, on the Postcast, we have our Sens Central standouts. Lots of options to choose from here, but being boots on the ground, who is your Sens Central standout for tonight's game?
Yeah, lots of options. The guys really came to play tonight. But I have to go with Meriläinen, obviously.
Nice. Yep. Goalie for the show.
I mean, can we finally agree that he should be Allmark's number one backup and that he should be the number one going forward? I mean, I say definitely play him tomorrow. Like I have felt this before. I just don't really understand why they keep going with Forsberg as often as they do. I love Meriläinen, and I think he's got to be the number one while Allmark is out.
Love that. The chat is completely in agreement with you on that one. Final one for me, Cheryl. Look, we're hockey fans here too, and you got a nice piece of memorabilia at the game tonight. Can we see the Jaromir Jagr bobblehead? Nice. Can you put it right up to the camera?
Let's see the mullet. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so awesome. That's so sweet. Is that real hair?
It is not real hair.
It almost looked like it. Wait, weren't the bobbleheads that got like lost last year? Like they lost the truck with them.
That's the whole lore behind them. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, I don't know how many people offered to buy this off of me tonight. And I was like, nah, heck no.
Oh,
like,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, this is definitely something that I wanted to keep. So yeah.
Especially you can look at that and be like, oh, that was a 5-0 win that night.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you know what? And I feel like there was a lot of Jagr energy in the first period with all those scrums. Like I remember I saw some comments on Twitter of like, this is how hockey used to be played. And I thought, yeah, man, this is like Jagr energy.
That's amazing. Well, what a night. And I'm glad you got to see such a good game. Is that it for you guys this year? Or will we be seeing you at any more games?
Oh, heck no. We will be in New Jersey next Sunday, actually.
Okay.
Let's go. You guys are making the rounds. And it's you and your partner, right, that go to all these games?
Yes. My husband, Evan, is here. So we...
Does he have a Sens Central standout for us?
Come here. Who's your Sens Central standout, Evan?
All right. I got an odd one because I really liked how Cousins came back. He was super emotional on the bench. And one of my moments of the game was when he gave himself up after he kind of got grabbed.
Oh, that was the fake check to the head.
Fake check. But the discipline to be emotional and to keep that game from getting out of hand. Like, I know he had a lot of problems in this game, but come on, that was a mature move on his part and good coaching. And I really, really love that game not get out of hand and the Senators got this under control. And that was impressive.
Show some discipline.
Yeah. And that's a great call out, Evan, too, because this game could have gotten even like 6 penalties already. But if Nick Cousins doesn't, kind of restrain himself a little bit, this could have gotten a little bit more out of hand. And that's a power play you don't want to tempt with too many more than 6 power plays, eh?
Yeah, we remember being at a game last year where everybody got misconduct on the ice.
The Panthers.
Oh, the Florida game, right? Hey,
very memorable moment.
Shut up, Pilsy. Shut up. Oh, my God. Well, hey, guys, get home safe. It's always great to see you. And maybe we'll get Evan on next Sunday, and we'll get your Sens Central standout afterwards. But safe travels, guys. Thanks for being a part of the show. We really appreciate your insight.
We love it. Thanks so much, guys.
All right, there goes Cheryl and Evan. Thank you very much. I love those boots on the ground reports. They're the best. We got Sens Central standouts next. This is Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Time. I'm sure Cheryl and Evan checked out the Game Time app for their tickets to not just the Carolina game, not just this game, but also the game they're going to in New Jersey. I love going to live events too. It's not just sports, guys. You can check out music, theater, and comedy on Game Time. And Game Time has made it even easier to get tickets for your favorite event with their new feature, Game Time Picks. This feature filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you're not wasting time searching through thousands of tickets you don't even want. And the best part about Game Time, or multiple best parts about Game Time, you get the views from your seat. So if it's a barn you haven't been to before, just pull up the app on your phone and you can get panoramic views, what the whole rink looks like from your seat before you buy, and put on the all-in pricing feature so you get the total cost up front, no surprise fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time.
Welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan. That is Brandon Piller, and we are vibing. Finally, after the Ottawa Senators get a 5-0 win, their first win in 2025, Pilsy.
Oh, that hurts to hear, Ross. But yes, that is true. And hey, if you're going to have your first win of the year, why not make it a 5-0 shutout up against a team you're chasing in the wild card race on the road, nonetheless?
So we've already got two Sens Central standouts. Cheryl had Leevi Meriläinen, the Finnish firewall, 29 save shutout, his first shutout, the youngest goalie in the National Hockey League with a shutout this season. And Evan had Nick Cousins, who I like that pick. It's kind of a low-key one in terms of points tonight on a night where a lot of guys lit the lamp, but I like that pick as well, Pilsy. Who's your Sens Central standout?
I got to go Shane Pinto, Ross. This is a guy that when he's hot, this team has success. You know the stats better than anyone. And when he has 2 points, even a higher success rate for this team. And he gets a power play goal and a shorthanded goal in this one. 3 shots on net. Oh, so close to getting that hat trick, which would have been his first career hat trick. I thought Shane Pinto had a great game. And if this team's going to have success moving on in the future, again, like the stats show, Ross, Shane Pinto needs to be clicking offensively for them to have a better chance at success. I'll say that. So I think we could snap it around a couple times, Ross, even with 2 Sens Central standouts by our boots on the ground report. But Shane Pinto is my first Sens Central standout presented by the Glebe Central Pub.
And how about Shane Pinto leading all forwards in ice time tonight?
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that. But I mean, if he's playing power play and shorthanded,
and PK.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 shots on goal, 1 power play goal, 1 shorthanded goal, 2 takeaways, and went 55.6% in the dot.
And I just want to add one more thing. How about that play by him on the power play? He's standing in the slot with 2 defensemen on him, and then he has the awareness to be like, what am I doing here? I'm not really adding much value here. I'm going to pop out quickly to the high slot, open myself up, and Claude Giroux's right there. He's got the hockey IQ. He's going to read that that's what's happening, and he's going to get it right on my tape, and I can one-time it. So excellent play, excellent hockey IQ by both the vet, Claude Giroux, and Shane Pinto.
Let me build off of that because you named my Sens Central standout, Uncle G. G-Money. Claude Giroux with 3 assists in this game. I thought he was fantastic all throughout it. And not only that, how about a primary assist on both of the first 2 goals? He also had a primary assist on the Stützle goal, although basically Nedeljkovic's ass got the primary assist because he couldn't cover it. It slid right between his legs, and he was able to do there. But 3 primary assists for Claude Giroux. Maybe the old wily vet likes the 4:00 start time in this one, but he came to play. I thought he was excellent. So I want to give a shout out to Claude Giroux.
Yep, love it, Ross. I'm just quickly checking what was his face-off stats tonight. Usually
he's 50%, but I'll actually I'll take a peek here, and it's so strange, man. The face-off stats on NHL.com, like those extra stats you can open. I have to open them in an incognito window to have them open, but I have.
They're so nasty. You got to go incognito with those ones. Not safe for work.
Not safe for work. 5 for 10 against Sidney Crosby in tonight's game was Claude Giroux. 7 for 14 overall.
And Ross, I would love to see I don't think you can find this. Maybe you can, LOSP stats department on it, but I bet Claude Giroux and Sidney Crosby have had hundreds and hundreds of face-offs against each other throughout the years.
No clue how to find that, but that would be a fun stat because I bet you it's over 1,000. Like divisional for that long.
Especially when you get playoffs in the mix too. They've had some series up against each other. So yeah, it'd be intense.
Absolutely. So Claude Giroux will be my first, and I'm just going to take the next one. We always do it, snake style on this, and this might be a bit of an off the board pick, but I just love the way Josh Norris played today. I thought he was physical and playing angry hockey, getting himself into scrums, not taking it from anyone. I just really appreciated that from Josh Norris. He finishes with 5 hits and 4 shots on goal. 5 hits is the most by any Ottawa Senators player tonight. So I just want to give a little love to Josh Norris. Left the game. Everyone was like wrist, shoulder. No, he got hit in the nuts with the puck.
I mean, what a relief that was, Ross. I was like, oh my God, if it's a shoulder injury.
Not often. That's best case scenario.
Yeah, seriously. And look, I don't care who you are. That's funny. A puck to the nuts that you think is a serious injury, and then he's just right back. It's all good. Woo!
Dude, how about Brady Tkachuk's back check on that play, though, to create the errant puck that flew off? That would have been they should have given Leevi a breakaway. That's his bread and butter.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, Leevi does love that. I was kind of worried, Ross, that Leevi was going to go for the aggressive poke check there, and you got 3 players going full speed at him. That could have been a serious situation there. Like, I thought he might go Dominic Hasek and just dive out there and see what happens, but I'm glad. Again, Leevi.
Nikitin would have.
Yeah, Nikitin would have, but Leevi, calm, cool, collected. He just reads that play and is like, I'm just going to stay square to the puck. Brady and or Norris are going to figure this out. So another great move by Leevi.
And Chris in the chat was saying Leevi Meriläinen looked like a young UC Saros. I appreciate that, but with his size, man, at 6'4", like give me a Pekka Rinne. If we're going to go with old finished players, but he's so square to the puck, man. It's awesome to watch, man. It really
firewall. Love it.
Owen mentioning here, like you don't often hear this about goalies, but like he makes smart plays. He great reads, like Craig Anderson used to do.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Good call there. My second Sens Central standout, Ross, is going to be Tim Stützle. Look, I know maybe this wasn't the offensive output game we want, but I thought he was playing with a little bit more confidence tonight. And Ross, when you're not scoring when you're a superstar player and you're not scoring highlight reel goals, find other ways to get in the mix and stay involved in the game. That's just a heads up play. And I know you had issues with the refs in this game, Ross, but there was a couple times on 2 goals where the ref was in perfect position, sees that the puck is not actually covered and doesn't blow the quick whistle. So I'll give him a little hat tip on that because they showed the alternate angle of the replay and Nedeljkovic, like, buddy, how about trying to keep moving or at something? Like he's just sitting so frozen. He thinks he has it, and it's just sitting right there. And you see Tim Stützle activate from behind the net. He puts everything he's got to get around the net and slam that thing in. I know that's not a typical Timmy superstar goal that we see on the highlight reels and gets reposted by Sens Central, but
it was. Dude,
but that is a great way to play.
He flipped his stick upside down and like dug it out like that. Like that's a sick play.
Determination. Yeah. And that's the thing, Ross. Like we know he's got the skill, but sometimes you just got to grit it out and use a bit of a skill like that. So I know maybe that's not the next best choice there, but when I saw that goal, I was like, that's what I want to see from Timmy. Putting the puck in the net. I don't care how.
Dude, that was unreal, man. And Drake Batherson continues to dummy the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's now got, I believe, 16 points in 12 games against the Penguins. He only had the 1 goal tonight, right? I don't think he had any assists. I got you right
just
here.
The 1 goal.
Yeah. Two penalties for Batherson there and 3 shots on goal for him in this game. So those are our Sens Central standouts. I mean, the list could go on and on. Guys who played well in this game. Of course, we will be monitoring the health of Cole Reinhardt, who left in second period, only played 3 minutes and 33 seconds. But again, in 6 shifts, I thought he was pretty noticeable out there. Everyone had a good game. I don't think there was a weak link, really. And how about 4 out of 6 defensemen getting a point in this game as well? And I'd argue that the 2 guys that didn't, Artem Zub and Nicholas Matin-Palo, were just as steady as anybody. I thought Matin-Palo was using his physical stature a little bit better. And we'll see how this goes into Sunday's game. Obviously, it's still 2-5-1 in their last 8 games, but this was the most important game to not only win, but to win in regulation, and a beatdown is just a cherry on top.
Absolutely, yeah. So shall we get to the goaltending conversation here?
All right. What's the call tomorrow, Pilsy?
Look, I still maintain my principle. I don't like to start goalies back-to-back, but the difference is I'm not going to be as aggressive on this as I was with Linus Ullmark. I'll say it again. The reason I was like that about Linus Ullmark is because I love Linus Ullmark and I didn't want him to get hurt, because if he got hurt, this team would be in big trouble, like we're seeing here. But I don't think it's that crazy to start Leevi in both games. But I know the chat is really hating on Forsey right now. Forsey played a great game in Detroit and was not the reason they lost 4-0 in Buffalo. So I'm not so anti-Forsey right now that I'm like, no way you can start him. You can't do it. Send him down. Put him through waivers. Leevi has to start both games. I think I'd be fine either way, but it's clear Leevi is the goalie that gives the Ottawa Senators and Ottawa Senators fans more confidence when he starts. So if they start Leevi, sweet, I'm down for another Finnish firewall performance. But if they start Forsey, I'm not going to go to Twitter and act like the sky is falling and going to be raged like I know some people in the chat probably are.
He's 22 years old. It's not like you're worried about his body breaking down playing 2 games.
And that's what I'm saying, Ross. Don't put words in my mouth. I did not say that. I said the exact opposite of that. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the clip and you're trying to get the chat going on me here. Nice try. Let the record show. I never said that. And that was my main topic and argument with Linus Ullmark, was my concern, where with Leevi, clearly that is not the case. And it's not like he's played a lot of games in Belleville or in Ottawa. So it's not like he's got the miles on him and you're worried about overworking him either.
And they're probably already on their way to the airport and they'll be home by 11 o'clock tonight. They'll sleep in their own beds. And heck, the Dallas Stars just started a game in Montreal, so they're going to have to travel to Ottawa, and it's the second half of back-to-back, and Ottawa's got a 5 o'clock start tomorrow night as well. So really going to be interesting to see how Ottawa has their lineup set up, and even if Cole Reinhardt can't go, is it as easy as putting in Zach McEwen for that game, or how do you negotiate that? We will see soon enough. Wally has Clevin is his locked-on player of the game, dropping big hits and a goal, looking like the player that we were expecting. Let's remember, Tyler Clevin is only 23 years old as of 2 days ago, or yesterday even. So this guy has a lot of room to grow, is a big 6'5" body, and the offense is a bonus for me. As long as he's playing steady defensively and getting some big hits and standing up for his teammates like he did in the first period when Michael Bunting's wires crossed and ragdolled him, I'm very happy with his game, and I'm glad that Wally gave him a shout out here.
Yep, good call, Wally. And look, obviously, you don't want players on your team injured. JBD, Hamonic, we hope those guys get better soon. But I really like the way Clevin and Martin Palo look as a third pair in the NHL. I think those two play really well together, and I have no issues if that's going to be kind of a longer term thing that we're going to get used to here with those injuries.
This busy stretch of 12 games in 20 days continues tomorrow against a tough opponent, the Dallas Stars. My final shout out to this game, and look, there were some people on us yesterday because the last few days, Pilsy, we have been kind of brushing off Adam Gaudette as just like a invisible, doesn't score, not doing anything. I thought he was good down low today. I was watching him closely because we were getting that pushback, and analytically, those hockey stat cards we like to look at, Pilsy, number 2 on the team today behind Claude Giroux. So,
oh, wow. Okay. I can't say I noticed him that much, but yeah, cool.
Yeah, decent.
Good. Yeah, good.
And I mean, he had an opportunity to really kind of play today, playing with Giroux and with Tim Stützle, and that line analytically was the best for the Ottawa Senators. Josh Norris and Thomas Chabot also with great games. Heck, there's not a whole lot of minus here. The worst minus is Nick Cousins, but he did things today that don't show up on an analytic stat card in terms of getting this game into the trenches and allowing it to be a bit of a dogfight at times, which I think the way the Sens are built, that's a perfect way to play on the road. So I'm not disagreeing with Evan of having him as a Sens Central standout, despite where he looks on the analytic chart. I thought he brought a lot to this game and helped the team win. So not a weak link in sight today for the Ottawa Senators. Pillsy, any final thoughts? Because we got a quick turnaround as well. We'll be back here for a postcast tomorrow following the Senators and Dallas Stars.
Yes, I do have a final thought, and it's brought to you by our guy, Nick Spence. He makes a good point here. How many days in a row for LOSP? Is it every day the rest of the month? Not quite, Nick, but math guy here.
What? Which one? It is. Our next day off is February 2nd.
Oh, true. Yeah. No. Well, never mind. Not a math guy, apparently, but it's going to be 27 straight days. Is that correct?
With how many weekday games? Because you can double those up. We are grinding with this team.
Yeah. So if you like LOSP, this is a great month for you. If you don't like LOSP, sorry about that. Yeah,
sorry.
You're gonna get a lot of content here, but hey,
dude, you know what they say? You know what they say about LOSP?
Well,
it's almost impossible to stop.
And hey, if the Ottawa Senators are almost impossible to stop, we don't mind doing this at all. It is our passion. This is a show for fans, by fans. Thank you to 326 you in the chat. It's a vibe cast, and I'm feeling great, Ross, going into tomorrow's game.
Oh, I'm feeling so fantastic. This was an amazing game, and hey, is Alex Nedeljkovic going to stop the next shot he faces?
Probably not.
688 save percentage for Alex Nedeljkovic. I don't think I busted that one out yet, but we got a couple gems hidden that we'll unveil throughout the month here on Locked On Senators. So let us vibe into a Saturday night. Be safe out there. Have a great night with your friends and family, and we will be back for a postcast tomorrow night. Senators win 5-0 on the road in Pittsburgh. And now, I mean, I didn't want to touch too much on standings because there's so many games going on right now, but Ottawa's 1 point behind Pittsburgh now with 3 games in hand. So that's how big this game was between the two teams.
Yeah, and I mean, we're really eyeing the Columbus Blue Jackets, Ross. The Sens are 1 point behind them with 1 game in hand as well. So we're still in this. Like, don't get too down on the boys. I know it was tough after the Sabres game, but there's 41 games left in the season, guys. Like, let's stick with this team here.
Absolutely. We'll chat tomorrow. Let's get some GSGs in this chat. We are the Locked On Senators podcast. That's Brandon Piller. I'm Ross Levitan. We're a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.